Namaskar, good afternoon, and a very warm welcome to all our viewers, our students, and our prospective students who we are going to address through this program today. आप सबको मालूम है कि हम आपका विश्वास हमारा प्रयास ये कार्यक्रम लेके हर महीने 2 सोमवार ऐसे हैं जब हम आपके साथ जुड़ते हैं। और पिछले बार जब हमने इसका एपिसोड किया था तब हम स्कूल ऑफ जेंडर एंड डेवलपमेंट स्टडीज़ के 2 फैकल्टी मेंबर्स, 2 एक्सपर्ट्स के साथ आपके साथ जुड़े थे और हमने कुछ महत्वपूर्ण प्रोग्राम्स ऑफ स्टडी के बारे में आपको जानकारी दी थी। मेनली हमारा फोकस एक पर्टिकुलर प्रोग्राम ऑफ स्टडी पे था और हमने आपसे वादा भी किया था कि हम फिर से जल्द ही एक एपिसोड लेके आएंगे जिसमें बाकी कुछ बहुत महत्वपूर्ण प्रोग्राम्स हैं जो स्कूल ऑफ जेंडर एंड डेवलपमेंट स्टडीज़ ऑफ़र करते हैं, उनके बारे में आपको जानकारी देंगे। तो देखिए, आज हम अपना वादा पूरा कर रहे हैं। इन टुडेज़ एपिसोड अगेन वी हैव विद अस ऑन द पैनल the experts from the school who will be sharing information about some of the certificate programs which are really relevant in terms of the times that we are in. So we will learn more about those programs from our experts, and I will introduce you to our experts in a short while. But before that, I would like to share with our students some very important information, some updates about the university's academic calendar. First of all, as you know that the December term end exams got over in January, and the result updates are being declared gradually. Those students who had applied for early declaration of results, their results were declared first of all. तो प्रक्रिया यही होती है विश्वविद्यालय में कि यदि आप अपना टर्म एंड एग्ज़ाम देने जा रहे हैं और आपको किसी कारण से जल्दी अपना रिज़ल्ट चाहिए तो आप एग्ज़ाम से पहले अर्ली डिक्लेरेशन के लिए अप्लाई कर सकते हैं। जब आप एग्ज़ाम का फॉर्म भरते हैं तभी ऐसे में क्या होता है, आपकी कॉपी अलग से एग्ज़ामिन कराई जाती है, एवेलुएट कराई जाती है ताकि आपका रिज़ल्ट पहले डिक्लेयर कर दिया जाए। ऐसे रिज़ल्ट्स डिक्लेयर हो चुके हैं, बाकी ग्रेजुअली होते जा रहे हैं। द स्टूडेंट एवेलुएशन डिवीज़न इज़ एट इट एंड वी आर ट्राइंग टू डिक्लेयर द रिज़ल्ट अपडेट्स as quickly as possible because we have a big and very accomplished pool of evaluators who work for us in the evaluation of answer scripts. Moving on from that, you also know, and we had shared in our last episode, that the January 2025 admission session began and the last date was 31st January, but on popular demand and the request of the students and prospective students, that date has been extended, and the fresh admissions will continue as of now, as per information that we have as of now, till the 15th of February. So those of you who have made up your mind but haven't been able to fill in your forms, please do that. Don't wait for the last date. It may be counterproductive. You will find a lot of traffic on the website and fee payment will become a hassle. I'm saying this from the experience that we get when we are in the student service center, and a lot of students face this problem. So don't wait for the last date. And similarly, for those of the students who are going to be re-registering, they also should do that before the 15th of Feb because re-registration dates were also extended. Also, we had shared with our viewers that the BSc Nursing and the B.Ed program application form process was going on. So there you have to fill in the application form and you have to write an entrance test. So for that, the last date is 21st of February. So those of you who are looking to apply, please do apply. The links for these are available on the university's website. So go ahead and browse the website. You will get the information that you need and you will get to learn a little more about what all the university is offering in online and ODL learning. So that is it for now in terms of the university updates. After the exams, you do know that all the regional centers conduct their practical sessions. So all those subjects which have a practical component, I request the students to please be in touch with your regional centers and your study centers so that you are aware of the practical schedules and so that you don't miss the schedules and you are able to finish your practicals in time. Now, first of all, as I shared, that we have our experts from the School of Gender and Development Studies with us. So, without much ado, I am going to introduce you to our panel of experts today. We have with us Dr. Smita Patil, Dr. Sunita Dhal, Dr. G. Uma.
Namaskar.
Thank you so much for joining us on the panel today. And we are really grateful that School of Gender and Development Studies agreed to come for this second episode in continuity, because we did not want to break the continuity of the learning process of the students. And this, I think, will strengthen the objective with which we have come with this program. So thanks a lot. As I shared with the viewers that we are going to be sharing information about some important and relevant programs today. So why don't we start with Dr. Smita Patil and we see what program we get to know about.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Dr. Bhavana. I would like to just, say a few words about the certificate program which the school is offering, and I'm the coordinator of that. This is particularly certificate program in gender in law, which has a 16 credits. In fact, this program is particularly designed and developed, and this is jointly offered with School of Law of IGNOU. This is in-housed in the School of Gender and Development Studies, and it is offered in distance and open distance learning, ODL mode, which we call it. I will come back in a short while about the two courses which we are also offering in the Swayam platform. I would like to just explain in short the program objectives. This particular program is to make learners aware of the interlinkages between legal institution and the existing gender inequalities. Because if by and large, if you see that the ways in which that the laws have been framed, we in fact derived from most of the laws from the colonial period, and as a result we see that it's a very, very patriarchal form of nature where it is. So even after independence you would see that there is a consistency in that. The second objective particularly of this program is to create the consciousness among the learners about women's rights through legal discourses, and to explain the ideology of patriarchy and its existing forms within the framework of laws. To critically think about the issues of the LGBTIQ plus people, I think this is the most important intervention this program is doing at this moment, to enable the learners to understand, explore and acquire the critical understanding of gender-based violence and law. To make the learners, conversed with the impact of the gender inequality in governance. Now, governance is something which we have been constantly listening, but do we really critically think about this from the gender perspective? That we need to question it. So this program, in fact, is sort of offering, and let me introduce briefly about this program. If you look at gender is one of the prime concern at the national and the international level, and it is widely discussed. And one would see that there is a drastic transformation going on right now when we look at the ways in which the debates are unfolding. So the policy regimes cutting across the globe and even in the Indian context are sort of exploding, and there is an impact of it by intersecting the law, gender, and justice. So this particular program, in fact, engages with the discourse of the socio-political spaces, and there is a multiple forms and the dimensions of this, which is also dealing with the multiple marginalities. At the same time, the ways in which the minority questions have been addressed. So it probes, in fact, the exclusion and the oppressions faced by not only by the woman but by the other marginal categories or the genders we can see. Like, for instance, LGBTIQ plus people is one of the one category which we can talk about when we talk about the other genders also. At the same time, in the developing countries, you would see that, as I said, that there is a major transformation going on in terms of gender and law. So in India, in fact, we do have the Constitution of India, which provides the equal rights to all citizens of India, and the ways in which one should look at. So when one looks at those debates and the situation of the woman, marginal categories and so on, we can argue that cutting across the different social strata, they face diverse form of stigma and discrimination. So you would see that the societal control, which is there through customs, through law-driven societies, how it is bringing out a social change. It is in fact coexisting in paradoxical nature and the ways in which we live in the society. So we need to address also. If you look at the feminist movement in India and across the world, you would see that those feminists and the movements which are constantly critically engaging, interrogating within the field of the national and international law by offering gender critique to legal theoretical formulation and practices. They evaluate the existing laws, newly amended and enacted laws in the context of gender to ensure the justice and equality to all genders. Now, you must be thinking that what must be the program structure of this particular certificate program in gender in law. It has a 16 credit, as I mentioned to you earlier. The course 1 title is Understanding Gender and Law, which has 4 credits, and the code is BGS 011. The course 2 is Gender-Based Violence. Again, it has a 6 credits. The code is BGS 012. This is particularly very theoretically and the ways in which it has been structured and formulated, you would engage and see that how it is unfolding the those issues which are there. The particularly third course is Gender and Governance, and the code again it's 6 credits, and the code is BGS 013. Now briefly let me explain to you what is the content of the course 1. If you look at the course 1, which is Understanding Gender and Law, which has 4 credits, it is primarily talking about understanding gender and understanding the law, and then the relationship of the power and subordination. So you are going to go and understand conceptually, theoretically those debates at the very basic level, but you would also enhance your understanding not only on sexualities, sex and gender, construction of sex, gender and sexualities, mapping multiple marginalities, then the concept of law, understanding Indian legal system, the role of law in society, women's movement and its engagement with law, strategic uses by law, by groups, patriarchy in law, heteronormativity in law, caste, class, religion in law, disability and law, discrimination against LGBTIQ. These are the ways in which that you can travel through and understand the core themes and the concept of this. The second course is Gender-Based Violence, which is extremely significant and important at this point of time, because you would see that day by day gender-based violence is increasing across the not only in country but across the globe. And I think this is a very serious concern for the feminists and the people who are conscious about the rights of women or the human rights activists, or if we really want a society which will be peaceful society, we need to address these issues very seriously, that everyone should have the safety, security, and there should not be any kind of violence in the society. So this particular course is designed again by the experts, and the block 1 is theorizing gender-based violence, in which you would understand patriarchal violence in contemporary India, which is again dealing with, the cybercrime, gender trolling, and so on and so forth in the contemporary context, caste, culture, and religion, violence against communities, violence within communities, crime against women, which includes domestic violence, sexual violence, related offenses, female feticide, infanticide, women in institutions like prison, cyber crimes, which is one of the very, very significant and very important area which we need to know, and what are the legal provisions are there. Because, we do use social media, we do use mobile, because, net banking and other things, which is, routine life of each one of us. At the same time that the violence against collectives, which includes the communal violence, which is Communal Violence Bill, caste-based violence, political conflict and insurgency, state-led violence, violence against LGBTQ people, which includes the same-sex relationship and law, institutionalized and social violence, then violence and discrimination, then health law, which are very important to know, and I think each one of us should aware about what are the health laws are there. Reproductive health, surrogacy, mental health law, occupational health. So by large, you are going to go and understand the gender critique to this existing laws, and how you are going to go engage with this particularly in a critical fashion. Not only from the theoretical perspective, but the existing laws and what are the new laws which have come up now through various interventions done by the feminist movement. The third particular course is Gender and Governance, again 6 credits. Now, we know this buzzword governance. What does it mean, good governance? How do we relate with gender? So what is the concept called gender governance? How do we contextualize it? What is, what are the impacts of the gender inequality in governance? How do we locate gender in governance discourse? Then at the same time, the historical background of the local governments in India. There are several committees constituted after independence. What are those committees, established by Government of India? And what are the initiatives taken by central and the state governments? Then 73rd and 74th amendments are there. You will learn about that and understand. Then there are very interesting case studies which we have given, that how the grassroots level women can bring out a change. So they are the change makers in the society. But what kind of problems do they face? And even though after facing those problems, how they are managing and dealing with those challenges. Then in this particular course, you would also understand about women's political representation and participation, women in legislation, comparative best practices, legal literacy and leadership. If you look at, in fact, the Government of India's manual, from last 10 years, that one of the emphasis given by the Government of India is the legal literacy. Recently, there was also been an initiative taken by Ministry of Rural Development and also Ministry of Social Justice and Law, which the focus was on the legal literacy and gender-based violence. So you would sort of engage with this debate and the core debate in and around, and understand what does it mean all these 3 courses are offering to you. I want to also explain about the learners support system, which is provided by the school and particularly by the coordinator. Especially I will be giving all kinds of support. There is a self-learning material which is available for you. At the same time, we have the audio video programs. We constantly keep coming through this channel. Also we do the IRC, and also regular counseling and teleconferences, IRC session, interaction through virtual Google mode also. And there are assigned RCs which will be taking care of this particular. So counselors will be there who will, engage with your question, answer, and any problems you face. At the same time, I just want to explain to you that there is a weightage of the 70 and 30%. The 30% weightage is given to the assignment. For each course, you have to write one assignment. Now, the question which would be given to you in the assignment would be in a critical fashion, and one of the ways in which that you can deal with this question is reading the material, the text, but also very much aware of what is going on currently in the society, because law is something which is constantly changing. It's like a media, right? But also the intervention is there because there is a need and demand by the people, right? And how do we, sort of place? Like, for instance, you would see that transgender bill has, in 2019, when the transgender bill was, introduced. How do you see that? Are the transgenders that really comfortable? So you can pick up any studies, you can look at the interviews, you can read, and you can sort of relate with that. So while I'm expecting that you should not plagiarize anything, but you should read thoroughly. This is also a technical, subject in some sense. So you should know about the laws very properly. When you read it, you should be very, very well read, because every, text, every chapter, every unit, I have mentioned the case studies, case laws also, and there are a number of case studies, like for instance, repealing of 377. Now, the Nelson judgment is a very important. At the same time, Navtesh Singh judgment, right? At the same time, that Puttaswamy judgment, you should know about this, when you are studying about this particularly, these kind of, judgments and case studies. And the eligibility is 10 plus 2 for this particular, program from any discipline. I must tell you that the first two courses, which is understanding gender and law, and the second is gender-based violence, both are offered in the Swayam platform as well. In 2022, the first course was introduced in the Swayam platform, which we have a lot of students enrollment in that. And I must also tell you that a large number of students from the legal community have enrolled in this, particularly to mention that Rajiv Gandhi University of the Law, or some of the students from NELSA, Bangalore, and also from the other parts. Also the students from Pondicherry University from the science background, mathematics backgrounds are enrolled in this particular program and courses also in Swayam. We are offering this as a certificate program. So 6 months is a duration, but the validity is that for the 2 years. It is offered in January and July session, and the fee structure is 2,500. Now the question is that who can take the admission in this? I must emphasize that the government servants working with the State Commission of Women across the countries, because we have across the countries, each state is having a state commission. The government servants of the state and central government who are promoting the legal education and legal literacy program. I must also mention to you that, for instance, the National Commission for Women, or the people who are also working in the several ministries who are consultant, who are also part of this particular program. The professional workings in the development sector, functionaries with the NGO working on gender and women's issues in India, lawyers, faculties of gender and women's studies, faculties of social sciences, then students from legal institution, as I already mentioned, legal research organizations and women's and gender studies graduates, faculty, researcher and students in the universities, research organization and colleges. Institutions and organization and research institution working on gender issues, school teacher, media person, unorganized sector, and workers, and so on and so forth. And so large number of students who have enrolled in this are coming from this particular strata. And you would see that, I mean, my experience is that large number of students who enroll into this are from the legal and those who are passionate about the research, right, about the LGBTQ. We are the two program coordinators. I myself, Dr. Smita and Patil, and Dr. Gurmeet Kaur from School of Law. So you can contact to us. Feel free to contact and write to us. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Patil. जो हमारे दर्शक और विद्यार्थी अभी ये प्रोग्राम देख रहे हैं, मैं उनको ये ज़रूर बता दूं, अभी हमने एक पर्टिकुलर जो सर्टिफिकेट प्रोग्राम है जेंडर एंड लॉ, जिसके बारे में डॉक्टर स्मिता एम पाटिल अभी बता रही थी, उसके बारे में चर्चा करी है. उन्होंने बहुत कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव जानकारी दी है. जो ये सर्टिफिकेट प्रोग्राम है उसके बारे में हर तरीके से कि कौन हैं ऐसे लोग जो ये इस प्रोग्राम से बेनिफिट करेंगे, क्या बेनिफिट होगा, सब कुछ आपकी जानकारी के लिए बताया गया है. फिर भी यदि आप कार्यक्रम के दौरान हमारे आज के एक्सपर्ट्स से कुछ पूछना चाहें, आप कुछ क्लैरिफिकेशन लेना चाहें, तो आप अपने स्क्रीन पे स्क्रॉल हो रहे नंबर्स में कॉल करके हमारे एक्सपर्ट से कार्यक्रम के दौरान ही बात कर सकते हैं. तो हम अभी एक सर्टिफिकेट प्रोग्राम जेंडर एंड लॉ जो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है, मुझे जो उसके कंटेंट्स थे वो देख के लग रहा था कि ये तो किसी भी ले पर्सन के लिए जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है. एक प्रोफेशनल के लिए तो बहुत ही ज़रूरी है, मेरे जैसे प्रोफेशनल के लिए भी ज़रूरी है, और किसी भी फील्ड में जो प्रोफेशनल्स हैं उनके लिए ज़रूरी है. लेकिन शायद मेरी मदर जो अब रिटायर्ड है और काम नहीं करती हैं, उनके लिए भी ज़रूरी है. तो हर पॉपुलेशन ग्रुप के लिए अपने हिसाब से इसमें कुछ है जो उनको एनरिच करेगा. तो आपने बहुत महत्वपूर्ण जानकारी दी. हम अगर इजाज़त हो तो एक छोटा सा अंतराल ले लेते हैं और उसके बाद हम एक अगला जो हमारा प्रोग्राम ऑफ स्टडी है उसके बारे में जानकारी लेंगे. तो दर्शकों हमारे साथ बने रहिए. हम एक छोटे से अंतराल के बाद तुरंत आपसे जुड़ते हैं और ढेर सारी और जानकारी देंगे आपको.
Do you wish to be part of a television studio like this, or any other media system, or already part of any media system, want to enhance a new set of skills? Welcome to School of Journalism New Media Studies. Here in the School of Journalism New Media Studies, we are offering program for all set of people to learn and enhance the media skills. The vision of School of Journalism and New Media Studies is to generate a new set of professionals in the area of media and communication studies with understanding about role of media in the national development and global understanding. We offer innovative programs in the field of journalism and mass communication that sets the benchmark of high quality learning and teaching process at the national level. We offer these programs across the country with the help of our regional network as well as study center. Same manner, many of our programs are offered through online mode with a sophisticated learning management system. SOGDS offers programs from PhD in journalism and mass communication till certificate level. We have masters in journalism and mass communication. The eligibility is bachelor's degree, and we are introducing this program in 3 languages: Hindi, Tamil and English. Students from national and international students can join either through online mode as well as in the distance mode. We have 4 postgraduate diploma programs, specialized areas in the field of development communication, digital media, electronic media and journalism and mass communication program. And all these 4 programs are available in distance mode. 2 programs are available in online mode, development communication and digital media. And we have specialized certificate program in community radio. IGNOU employs various media and communication tools for better teaching and learning process. School of Journalism and New Media Studies utilizes this media system for delivering all our programs. Come and join with us for exploring a new career and enhance your media skills.
Welcome back, and we are here today with our experts from the School of Gender and Development Studies, and we have brought for you information about some very important certificate programs that the School of Gender and Development Studies is offering. You do know, and I had shared in the beginning of the program, that the admission session January 2025 is still going on, and it will be on till the 15th of February as of now. So it is very important that those of you who are looking to seek admission in a program from the School of Gender and Development Studies, please pay attention, make your notes, and do call into the program if you want to know anything. Our experts are here. And in case you chance upon a question later on after the program is over, you can contact the School of Gender and Development Studies, you can contact the Student Service Center, and we can, in collaboration with the school, get you the desired information or the desired clarification. Now moving on, I would request Dr. Sunita to share with our viewers and prospective students about this program, the certificate program that you have brought for us today.
Thank you, Dr. Bhavana, and it was nice to be here and talking about the certificate program in gender and science. अगर हम देखें कि ये program हमने क्यों conceptualize किया, way back when we are, the university or our department in fact was conducting the expert committee meeting. So it was in that sense an innovative program because it is intersecting both gender and science. During initial period, I would say that we can say it's a kind of an interdisciplinary program, as well as the way the program has been designed, it is multidisciplinary in nature. और मैं क्यों बता रही हूँ ये multidisciplinary है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे कहीं ना कहीं हम साइंटिस्ट को भी जुड़ रहे हैं और साइंटिस्ट के साथ भी हम जुड़ रहे हैं, at the same time gender experts and scholars from different disciplines like literature हो, political science हो, public administration हो, gender studies हो, women studies हो, economics हो, सबके साथ हम ये जोड़ के ये प्रोग्राम को तैयार किया है. And in that sense, the whole question, the initial, the background, why we needed that particular kind of a program. अगर हमारे learners या prospective learners अगर देखेंगे कि आज की जो डेटा है इंडिया की हो या एक ग्लोबल डेटा सेट हो, उसमें और या न्यूज़पेपर अगर आप पढ़ रहे होंगे तो फिर बहुत सारी रिपोर्ट्स अभी रिफ्लेक्ट कर रहे हैं how science is gendered in nature. Even there are certain movies, I think Mangalyaan, if I'm not wrong, and other movies also, they are looking at, the whole participation of women scientists in doing science. And earlier, there was a kind of, exclusion of women from doing science. तो इसीलिए कहीं ना कहीं जो फेमिनिस्ट स्कॉलर्स ने साइंस को दर्शाया है कि जो ग्रोथ ऑफ मॉडर्न साइंस जो है वो पेट्रियार्कल, पितृसत्ता के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है. लाइक इट वाज पेट्रियार्कल एंड एंड्रोसेंट्रिक इन नेचर. एंड बिकॉज वाई? बिकॉज ये हमेशा एक्सपेरिमेंट की तरफ ही जाता है, और एक्सपेरिमेंट इज द अल्टीमेट ट्रूथ, एंड दैट ट्रूथ कैन नॉट बी क्वेश्चनड अनलेस एंड अनटिल हम दूसरी तरह की एक्सपेरिमेंट जब ना करे तभी. तो इसीलिए द मेकिंग, व्हेन वी से दैट बाय मेकिंग ऑब्जेक्टिविटी एज द एसेंशियल क्राइटेरियन, the modern science excluded all other forms of knowing science or knowing the reality. इसीलिए feminist scholars ने एक alternative view of the reality उन्होंने propose करने की कोशिश की, जिसको कि हम लोग standpoint theory या situated knowledge, इस तरह का हम लोग concepts में इसको हम पढ़ सकते हैं. And in recent year, as I said, that women's access to STEM education, जो कि आप देखते होंगे कि इंडिया तो अंडरग्रेड लेवल में बहुत अच्छी है. अगर हम विमेंस, गर्ल्स और विमेंस एजुकेशन इन स्टेम अंडरग्रेड में करें तो बहुत डेटा, इट इज़ मोर दैन, इफ यू, आई कैन ऑलवेज आस्क यू टू गो टू असर रिपोर्ट एंड यू कुड सी दैट मोर दैन 37 point some percentage of there are women who have are doing science discipline at the undergrad level. Even अगर हम globally बात करें तो इंडिया की पोजीशन अच्छी है in terms of women's leadership, because globally अगर 4% है या 5% है, पर women का जो है even in certain institution it is more than 14% and more than 17% where we are having like women heading scientific institutions. But कहीं ना कहीं डिबेट कहाँ आती है, पीएचडी स्तर में महिला की प्रतिशत कितनी है. और ज़्यादातर अगर हम देखेंगे सेक्टर वाइज, लाइक आईटी सेक्टर में बहुत सारे महिलाएं हैं एज आईटी प्रोफेशनल्स, बट हाउ मेनी ऑफ अस आर एक्चुअली गोइंग एंड how many of them are going and looking at the leadership question as the board of member, right or in the decision making position. So ये सब जो मुद्दे हैं ये बहुत अहम आज के डेट में हो गई हैं, अगर हम अपनी कंट्री की बात करें या ग्लोबल स्तर में अगर हम बात करने की कोशिश करें. And therefore, within this background, this program has been conceptualized, and it provides an unique opportunity to scholars, scientists, policymakers, development professionals, even to critically engage with what we call the feminist science studies, both conceptually and practically. और जब मैं बताती हूँ कि practically हम कैसे कर सकते हैं, हम किस डेटा को जेंडर, क्योंकि बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूशन में हमें जेंडर डिसएग्रीगेटेड डेटा भी अवेलेबल नहीं है, तो इसीलिए हम कहीं ना कहीं हम जेंडर इक्वालिटी की बात तो करते हैं साइंस में जब हम पॉलिसी फ्रेम करते हैं, बट अभी हम जेंडर इक्विटी की भी बात करनी बहुत ज़रूरी है कि जो माइक्रो क्लाइमेट है एक साइंटिफिक इंस्टीट्यूशन का, जहाँ पे हम लोग कल्चर और प्रैक्टिस ऑफ डूइंग साइंस की बात करते हैं, तब क्या हमारी इक्वालिटी है माइक्रो क्लाइमेट में. ये सारे जो मुद्दे हैं ये बहुत सिग्निफिकेंट मुद्दे हैं. एंड what we can expect from our learners. So that is the program learning outcomes, that the program aims at imparting theoretical or conceptual concepts of science from understanding science from a feminist perspective, या feminist lens से हम science को देखने की कोशिश करेंगे. यहाँ पे जो सेल्फ लर्निंग मटेरियल है उस पे जैसे स्कॉलर्स है, सैंड्रा हैडिंग है, डोरथी स्मिथ है, डोना हरावे है, तो जो स्कॉलरली वर्क है उसको लिखा गया है, उनका रेफरेंसेस दिया गया है ताकि जो लर्नर्स को एक कॉन्सेप्ट को समझने में उनको आसानी हो. and to enrich कैपेसिटी ऑफ लर्नर्स विथ रिगार्ड टू द पॉलिसीज़ प्रोग्राम. क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं जब हम डेवलप कर रहे थे ये प्रोग्राम, हमें ये अंदाज हुआ कि जब तक जो प्रोग्राम्स हैं जो कि प्रमोट करती हैं गर्ल्स एंड विमेन को साइंस में, वो प्रोग्राम्स अगर वो साइंटिस्ट को भी पता नहीं चलेगा, देन हाउ आर वी गोइंग टू फैसिलिटेट दैट creating an inclusive, gender inclusive atmosphere in doing science. Right. And the last is about to enable learners to critically engage with feminist science, particularly in areas of interdisciplinary. ये जो areas आप देख रहे हैं, STEM है, ecology, health, agriculture, climate change, ये सब areas हैं, ये interdisciplinary areas हैं, और मैं कहना चाहूँगी कि ये intersectoral भी है, क्योंकि एग्रीकल्चर एक अलग सेक्टर है जो कि डॉक्टर जी उमा अभी बात करने वाले हैं. हेल्थ एक अलग सेक्टर है कि डॉक्टर स्मिता एम पाटिल ने अपने लॉ कोर्स में भी अभी प्रोग्राम में बात की. तो ये इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी होने के साथ साथ भी एक इंटरसेक्टरली भी ये चीज़ को एक मतलब फेमिनिस्ट साइंस स्टडीज़ कैसे हेल्प करता है एनरिच करने के लिए अंडरस्टैंडिंग को, इसमें ये प्रोग्राम आपको मदद करेगा. And what does this program offer that it that हम लोगों ने अभी cover किया. And now let's come to the program structure. It is having 18 credit, total of 18 credits, और इसमें हमारा 3 courses हैं, BGS 002, BGS 3 and 4 है. तो अगर हम फर्स्ट कोर्स को जो तीनों का क्रेडिट वेटेज है वो इक्वल है, 6 पर ईच कोर्सेस हैं. और फर्स्ट कोर्स है जेंडर साइंस टेक्नोलॉजी एंड सोसाइटी है, सेकंड कोर्स है सोशियो पॉलिटिकल डायमेंशंस ऑफ जेंडर एंड साइंस है, एंड लास्ट कोर्स है जेंडर पर्सपेक्टिव्स ऑन हेल्थ है. सो जो जेंडर साइंस टेक्नोलॉजी एंड सोसाइटी जो कोर्स है, ये रादर मैं बोलूँगी कि ये इट इज़ लाइक एन एम्पेरिकल साइंस. लाइक इसमें क्या है कि इसमें कॉन्सेप्ट भी हम पढ़ेंगे, जेंडर की कॉन्सेप्ट भी पढ़ेंगे, फेमिनिस्ट साइंस स्टडीज़ की कॉन्सेप्ट भी पढ़ेंगे, फेमिनिस्टों ने कैसे टेक्नोलॉजी और साइंस का इंटरफेस को देखा है और दर्शाया है या क्रिटिक किया है उसको भी हम पढ़ेंगे, और कहीं ना कहीं हम सोसाइटी में उसको एक एप्लीकेशन भी थ्रू केस स्टडीज़ हम इसमें कर रहे हैं. सेकेंड है सोशियो पॉलिटिकल डायमेंशंस ऑफ जेंडर एंड साइंस. ये ज़्यादातर ये एक कोर्स है जिसमें मुझे भी बहुत रुचि है कि ये कोर्स कैसे कि इसमें आप इंटरनेशनल प्रोग्राम्स के बारे में हम पढ़ रहे हैं, पॉलिसीज़ के बारे में पढ़ रहे हैं. एट द सेम टाइम वी आर ब्रिंगिंग दिस डाउन टू द इंडियन प्रोग्राम्स एंड पॉलिसीज़, एंड हम द करंट ग्लोबल डिबेट्स के बारे में पढ़ रहे हैं. तो ज़्यादातर जगह डिबेट्स की हम बात करते हैं यहाँ पे, तो ग्लोबल डेटा सेट हमें क्या कह रहा है, हाउ आर वी प्लेस एट द जेंडर इक्वालिटी इंडेक्स, और जेंडर एंड जेनेटिक डिबेट की बात करते हैं, एंड द होल क्वेश्चन of that where is this feminist science movement, so the emergence of feminist science movement and with this intersectional perspective in science, so bringing the intersectionality, whole question of race, caste, class, sexuality into the gamut of science or the discourse of science. So ये कहीं ना कहीं policies and debates को एक साथ ही लेके चलती है. Right. And last course है gender perspectives on health. और जब हम डिज़ाइन कर रहे थे इस प्रोग्राम को, सबने पूछा कि आपने क्यों एक डेडिकेटेड कोर्स रखा है हेल्थ के बारे में. तो कहीं ना कहीं ये आया कि जब हम साइंस की बात करते हैं, हेल्थ नीड्स जेंडर, लाइक बिकॉज हेल्थ इज़ ऑल्सो जेंडर्ड इन नेचर, और यहाँ पे विमेंस हेल्थ, एडोलेसेंट हेल्थ, मेंस हेल्थ, हेल्थ ऑफ द LGBTQ कम्युनिटी, ये कहीं ना कहीं एक स्पेसिफिक ये बहुत ग्रे एरिया ऑफ रिसर्च है. क्योंकि इस एरिया ऑफ रिसर्च अभी बढ़ती जा रही है. अगर आप कोविड के टाइम की हम बात करें तो कहीं ना कहीं तो वैक्सीन का जो जेंडर इम्पैक्ट बहुत बाद में आया, एक्सेस टू वैक्सीन को भी बहुत लोगों ने उस टाइम पे लिखना शुरू किया कि आओ women of a particular community और women in general they are not going to take vaccine, like across India की बात मैं नहीं कर रही हूँ, across the globe. तो कहीं ना कहीं और the whole what is the impact of the vaccine on the women's health, वो बाद में पता चला. तो इसीलिए हमें लगा कि नहीं, हेल्थ नीड्स अ काइंड ऑफ इट्स अ प्रायोरिटाइज एरिया एज वेल एज अ ग्रे एरिया, एंड देयरफॉर it has a basic gendered understanding which needs to be communicated to the mass. True. And so ये जो 3 कोर्सेस जो हैं, इस कोर्सेस में हमने जो हेल्थ के कोर्स में उसमें हम मेंटल हेल्थ की भी बात किया है और जेंडर एंड डिसेबिलिटी की भी बात की है, क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं जो मेंटल हेल्थ की भी बात करते हैं तो उसमें एक्सक्लूजन, मार्जिनलाइजेशन इन टर्म्स ऑफ जेंडर ये बहुत देखा गया है. So overall, what are the key points of this particular program? We could see that at the towards the end, that how gender divide is seen as a kind of a occupational barrier. ये तो हमें जब institutions में जाते हैं तभी पता चलता है, particularly scientific institutions में, is gender a kind of an occupational barrier? And what is the role of the state or the government to facilitate gender inclusivity in science? And how does feminist alternatives offer conceptual frameworks to address even some of the current crises? जैसे हम climate change की बात करते हैं, पहले हम gender justice की बात ही नहीं करते थे जब हम debates करते थे climate change के बारे में, but अभी हम climate crisis में हम gender justice को भी लेके चलते हैं साथ में. And then intersection between gender, mental health and the care, कि both, even I'm very happy that COVID के बाद हम mental health की बात कर रहे हैं. Even people who are in positions like I think some of the film stars, they are talking about mental health issues. So therefore I think it's going to be a very important area, and when we are talking about mental health, we really need to focus on gender as well. And the question of marginalization and its exclusion of gender in mental health issues, and disability, masculinity and reproduction. ये जो question है, masculinity, femininity in the discourse of disability and reproduction is something that has been again taken up by this particular course. And last मैं conclude करना चाहती हूँ assignment, जो कि स्मिता मैम ने ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन कर दिया है कि हाउ डू वी अप्रोच इन असाइनमेंट एज पार्ट ऑफ द कंटिन्यूस असेसमेंट प्रोग्राम. दैट असाइनमेंट वेबसाइट में है और आप देखिएगा. और प्लेजराइज असाइनमेंट हम इनकरेज करते नहीं हैं, तो अगर हम रिसीव करेंगे तो फिर ये इवैल्यूएटेड नहीं हो पाएगा. एंड क्वेश्चन कैसा रहेगा? रिफ्लेक्टिव, कंसेप्चुअल, एनालिटिकल क्वेश्चंस रहेंगे, एंड हैंड रिटन असाइनमेंट्स need to be submitted. And इस प्रोग्राम के कोऑर्डिनेटर हैं, एक मैं हूँ डॉक्टर सुनीता धल, एंड प्रोफेसर सविता सिंह है, और जिनकी जो ईमेल एड्रेस यहाँ पे भी है पीपीटी में, और आप वेबसाइट से भी आप देख सकती हैं. विद दिस आई वुड लाइक टू conclude my discussion.
Thank you so much. This has been such an enriching experience listening to these two programs, and both of them extremely relevant when we think of gender and law, when we think of gender and science. Every time we think about what are the resources that are out there, what are the resources that people who are of a particular gender can afford or access.
Yes.
ये बहुत ज़रूरी है. और मैं इसके बारे में सोच रही थी जब आप दोनों अपने अपने रिस्पेक्टिव प्रोग्राम्स के बारे में बता रहे थे, और मेरे दिमाग में ये आया कि दिस इज़ इक्वली एंड इवन मोर सो true about the next program of study that we are going to share with our viewers. Dr. G. Uma, please take the stage.
Thank you, Dr. Bhavana. I will introduce the certificate course in Gender, Agriculture and Sustainable Development. Actually, you all must be wondering what is the need for introducing the program which is titled as Gender, Agriculture and Sustainable Development. You all must be knowing that around 60 to 70% of the agricultural activities are performed by the female. But are we considering them as a farmers? That is the one question. Second is that even if you look at the ministries or Department of Agricultural website, they always use the gender neutral term, like farmers means, but due to existing patriarchy, we consider farmers means only male. That is, even like if you look at the data also, large percentage of 12th pass learners, they will be part of they take up the agricultural course, BSc Agriculture or Diploma in Agriculture, but they lack gender sensitivity. That is the main issues as far as agriculture is concerned in India. So by looking at the existing data and looking at how the patriarchy operates in that, specifically in agriculture and allied field, the school has decided to introduce the PG level certificate program that undergraduate learners across discipline. This is like gender and science. Here also, this program also, we have a coordinators. We are this program is launched with the help of School of Agriculture, but the program is housed in School of Gender and Development Studies. That's why this objective of this program is to create awareness about gender roles. Yes, the women they are performing various roles in agriculture and allied sectors, but they are not considered as a farmers, and we are not recognizing their activities. That is the one thing. And second is that now we are started talking about the sustainable way of doing agricultural activities to provide the knowledge on sustainable development in relation with gender and agriculture, and to build the capacities in gender research. True. Undergraduate learners, once they take up this course, they realize that they need to understand how the patriarchy operates in that particular field. That needs to be addressed scientifically, as well as the whatever innovations they make in the agricultural sector, that needs to be addressed the needs of the both male and female. That is very important. Right. So this is the PG level program. We have 3 courses. It's a 16 credits worth PG level. Once you enroll, your enrollment is valid for 2 years, but this is a 6-month certificate program. Maybe you can ask more about this program or all 3 programs, then we could able to explain more about that. All certificates.
Yeah, so I was actually very curious when you were giving this introduction. First of all, as you shared, this is a PG level certificate program.
Yes.
So do we then assume that our learners come after successfully completing their bachelor's in a certain discipline? Now, what are those disciplines? Are you looking at people who are graduates in the field of agriculture, in the field of sustainable development, in the field of political science, public administration? What is the target that you're looking at?
Like a potential learners from across disciplines, from any discipline. Like for example, even social science also. Certainly, many social science graduates, even if they work in certain NGOs, or if they work with a government department, certainly they need a gender sensitivity. When they go to field, certainly they will meet the agricultural workers, specifically women workers. So they need that. So it is like it's across the discipline, both science and social science graduates, even engineers and agriculture graduates, they can take up this program, because this program covers gender, agriculture, sustainable development, and concepts and trends related to sustainable development, as well as existing gender relations in the field. So even sociology students, they can take up. They need to know about how the gender relation operates in the field.
Right. Even if, like, when we are talking about sociology discipline, so they take up a paper, rural sociology.
Yes.
And there they look into the farming community.
Yes.
And it is very important now, if they take up this particular course, they are not only going to understand the agrarian society, but the existing
agrarian relation and production, they need to understand. This program certainly will help them, as well as research professionals, scientists, extension workers, NGO personnel. Even people who have completed MBA program also, they can, BBA, MBA graduates also, they can take it. Certainly they go to the field. They must understand the existing production relations at various levels.
Absolutely. Right. So, do you have alumni who have passed out, or is this a new program? Would you like to share with
this
our
program it's not a new program. It's the past 4 years we are offering this program. Like specifically people working in the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Rural Development, and various NGOs, they have already taken up this program and they have successfully completed. So they really they appreciated the way this entire program has been designed to offer the graduates across the discipline.
Right. This is exactly why I wanted Dr. Uma to specifically mention that we need to know, and we need to let our viewers know as to what is the background of our learners who have enrolled and successfully completed this program. Now you can well imagine how this particular program has benefited them, and it is probably through them going to benefit a large number of schemes that they will roll out. The bureaucrats who develop this sensitivity and they go out working with this kind of sensitivity, armed with this sensitivity. They go out, the schemes that they roll out, and the lives that they touch in general. The understanding with which they go if there are surveys conducted or if research is carried out from the government's side, all of this will be positively impacted. Right? So I think this is extremely relevant.
How many courses are there, like,
yes,
if I may ask?
Yes.
3 courses. This 16 credit. First 2 courses are 6 credits worth. Last course is 4 credits worth.
Okay. Would you like to share a little about the
course title also?
The course structures,
program.
Yeah.
The first course is MGS 041, that is Introduction to Gender, Agriculture and Sustainable Development. This course we designed to introduce the various concepts related to all 3 fields: gender, agriculture and sustainable development. Second course is about the gender dynamics in agriculture. This course we have specifically designed to address the agricultural and its allied sectors. For example, agriculture, fisheries, animal husbandry and sustainable development. Finally, in this course, we have when we talk about the sustainable development, we have introduced the concept of globalization and neoliberal economic policies. In this era of neoliberal economic policy, how the agriculture sector has impacted, whether it is impacted positively or negatively. Along with that neoliberal economic policy, the agriculture as a sector is facing various challenges,
and also
like
change. Change also.
Change as well as challenges. For a small one challenge is that we all must be reading in the newspaper and all, like farmer suicide. That we have explained through various case studies.
Right.
As well as the government is also, then another challenges is that feminization of agriculture due to the migration. From rural to urban migration. So the entire agricultural activities in the hands of the women. Right. That is the. Now the government is also like. Now you must be read in the newspaper, one specific scheme is Drone Didis. So even government has also realized the feminization of agriculture, and they try to design the various schemes and program by involving the women in the rural areas.
Okay.
So all those factors we have explained in the course 2, that is gender dynamics in agriculture. Last course is about the gender and sustainable development. We all know that now we are facing the climate extremities, and even like weather is keep changing that. Even farmers also, it is very difficult for them to depend on weather and
for agriculture,
for agricultural activities. But when we talk about the climate extreme climate situations, women are that impacts men and women differently.
Right.
That we need to discuss that. The last course we have discussed about gender, and in the course gender and sustainable development, we have specifically talked about what is sustainable development as well as climate change and the issues related to climate change, how it impact men and women differently. So we have 3 courses in this program.
Right, and since this is a certificate course, the duration remains the same. And the maximum duration also, as was shared with Dr. Smita in the beginning, is 2 years. Now here is something that we need to specify for prospective learners or viewers who are trying to find out about certificate programs in IGNOU for the first time. Normally the duration of a certificate program is 6 months. but IGNOU, because we are an open and distance learning university, the only national open university in the country. As our commitment to ensuring that your education goes on without any hitch or hassle, we insist that there should be a certain maximum duration. If you are employed and you are still continuing with your studies, you should be able to have a certain flexibility, which is why the maximum duration of 2 years is provided. However, this maximum duration of 2 years is a privilege, it is not a right. So you use it when you need it, otherwise you finish your program in a time bound manner. It will be good for you.
Yes.
Because for us it is beneficial both ways.
Yes.
We get students who learn and they take that knowledge out and spread it out in the world, and that is the purpose of our institution. But for you it will be beneficial, so we always encourage our learners to finish their programs of study well in time, and you can utilize whatever time you have left by picking up some more knowledge, maybe joining another program. So that is it from our side today. Now it is important that you keep in mind that the last date for admission is 15th of February, and with that I am thankful, I am grateful to our experts from the School of Gender and Development Studies, Dr. Smita, Dr. Sunita, Dr. Uma. Thank you
so
for
much.
taking the time and joining us.
Thank you.
And for our learners, keep learning, keep growing. We are always here to help you every bit of the way. Namaskar.
Namaskar.